Welcome back to Second Act Podcast. I am joined always by Michael Stone. I am Justin Sims. Today we're going to do another topic discussion, and Michael Stone has brought a topic that we've all pondered about in our life, in our journey, which is what?
Purpose.
The purpose of life.
Your purpose, yeah. You always hear, you need to find your purpose.
What's your
destiny? You need to find what's your passion. So what's your purpose?
To storytell.
Right. So how do you come to that conclusion that that's your purpose?
I think I ran from it for a long time, but I think that's always been my purpose. It's what I created something for you, Michael. Before we get into that, let's get into you. Here's 7 questions that I wrote down to determine what your purpose in life is.
Okay.
Okay? Number 1.
Don't get me in trouble.
That's on you. Number 1. What flavor shit sandwich do you like? Now, the that is the real question, number 1. But really, it's what struggle or sacrifice are you willing to tolerate? And I think that's a good thing for anybody to really ask themselves. What are you willing to sacrifice?
For your purpose?
Right. But what sacrifice are you willing to tolerate?
I don't know. I can say what sacrifice or have I already tolerated.
Okay, so what are those in your purpose?
So...
Like, for example, some people might put off having a family for 10 years or something so that they can seek out their purpose fully without that distraction. So something that you know you're going to have to, in order to get this, you got to go through this shit sandwich first. But I'm willing to do that because I need this.
Okay. You know what? I don't know. I would say that that's more of to me, that sounds like a goal issue, not a purpose
Like, what do you want to sacrifice to get this goal?
Yeah, I mean, if I don't think there's anything I would think about sacrificing for your purpose in life or your, let's say, whatever your passion is, but like a specific goal.
Well, here's an example.
I would say you got to sacrifice. What would I not sacrifice would be family.
Sure. But would you sacrifice time with family?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Not sacrificing them, like you have to give them up.
I would sacrifice time with family.
And you already don't have to do that, I'm sure, at some point.
Fuck yeah.
But think about it like this. If a kid wants to be an actor, let's say, and he can't handle rejection, good luck.
Right.
If a guy wants to be a lawyer but isn't willing to do 80-hour work weeks sometimes,
right,
good luck.
Right.
So that's a sacrifice you have to do to get that purpose.
Yeah.
If you want to be in the NBA and you don't want to work out,
right,
7 days a week or whatever it is, good luck. If Charles Rosa or Dean Thomas weren't willing to get punched in the face, they probably wouldn't be able to do... Yeah, good luck.
Right, so there's lots of those kind of things that exist in most, goals or purposes, I think. Sacrificing is time, money, sacrificing security. Okay, if you want to have a business, you want to start a business, what are you going to have to sacrifice? What am I going to have already let's say, was already willing to sacrifice would be not having a job that you stuck with and ended up at some higher level of the job, so you had security of your paycheck.
Like leap of faith type of stuff.
Sacrificed.
Like leap of faith.
Risk is it. If you can't take a risk, good luck.
Yeah, you can't.
If you're not able to handle a risk and you want to do your own thing, that's where I would say good luck. But there's other ways to go about it. There's smarter ways to go about it than things that I've done. You probably should be smart about it and keep your job and stay up until 2 in the morning working on whatever
Your passion.
business or passion you want to do.
Mm.
I mean, am I going to recommend to someone, I'm going to say, keep your job and don't do what I've done, but then I'm in a different situation.
But then again, if you wouldn't have done what you did,
right,
you might not have be in the position
right.
you're in.
Exactly. But
So, there's a sacrifice.
So you should, right, so you need to be able to sacrifice probably, what would you call, like, your relationship being on a even, like, I don't know, like if you're married or you're with a girlfriend or boyfriend,
Like a serious
and
relationship.
you have like your relationship is like going along smoothly. Okay, smoothness, let's say.
Okay. Everything's cool.
So your husband or your wife might say, not agree with what you're trying to do.
That makes it way harder.
So what if they don't agree with your purpose? What if they don't agree with your passion? I bet that happens every day.
Sure. And my initial reaction to that would be they're probably not the one.
Yeah.
But then again, that
Probably
may not be
most
true.
people are not with the one. That would be my answer to that. I mean, my opinion or what I think I've seen is most people are probably not with the one. And look, negativity is a killer for dreams, for sure.
For anything.
Yeah.
Really.
So, like, okay, so in my case, I have had a large amount of negativity.
You mean that you've brought or that's been thrown your way?
No, from your significant other.
You mean you've had negative... I'm confused. Explain.
Okay, so maybe I just have a unique ability not to fucking let it bother me.
To shake things off.
Right, so
Okay.
if your wife is like, that's a fucking stupid idea, you're never going to do that, that's gonna, you know,
Just rolls off your back.
it's not going to happen, it's not going to succeed. It's if you're living with a significant other who most of the time has a pessimistic view
Yeah.
on life in general.
Or especially your personal ideas.
Right. So do I just have some kind of unique ability to say, oh, fuck it, I'm not going to listen to her? I don't know.
Well, it could be that, or it could be that you have such a strong singular focus
Yeah.
that no outside opinion
Right.
is going to penetrate that purpose in your head.
Right.
Maybe it's that. Maybe it's not so much you not giving a shit, but it's so strong, this belief, that any negativity towards that idea, it's gonna bounce off.
Now, let me say that there's no reason for the negativity, like especially in a drug addict or so, and like in my
So
case,
you're saying it's
or
justified.
our cases, there's justified negativity.
But you don't let it stop
You
that.
fucked up so much shit that there's justified negativity and
Sure.
pessimistic stuff, which even when things do succeed, that just doesn't go away after you fucked up so many times.
When you mess up 10 things, 5 things keep going right. Don't
Yeah,
erase
you're
the
doing,
10.
this is the most awesome thing. Thank you. You did this business.
I'll always
It's
trust you now.
Yeah, right. So, look, then there's negativity that's just built over years of stuff, right? So I don't
That's tough.
let that, but it doesn't even enter into my...
You don't let it stop the train in
Nah,
your
fuck
head.
that. It doesn't stop the train. 'Cause
Strong.
I'm like, if I'm convinced, I'm gonna figure out how to accomplish or get something done without you can't let that in. That's what happens in most relationships, at least from what I've seen. One person is definitely gonna be negativity.
And bring the other person.
Yeah.
Bring the other person down if they don't do what you do,
Right.
as far as they let it affect them.
Right.
You know what you just said? All that reminded me of when Dean was here, and we asked him. I don't even know if it was shown on the episode or not, but we asked him like who his name 4 of his famous friends, and it was Joe Rogan, Dana White, welterweight champion Tyrone Woodley, and the women's champion Amanda Nunes. Like, what do they all have in common? And he said they all have that.
Right.
They all have that. I believe so strongly in myself, nothing's gonna stop that. Like, they have that strong, singular focus.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Here's the second question.
I'm not saying, like, I don't, like, believe in myself all the time.
Right, but we were saying...
Just most of the time.
But when you have that idea...
I don't have what they have, probably. That's, like, a different kind of fucking...
Maybe not.
Believe in yourself. I'm going to say I have it, like, 87% of the time.
That's a lot, though.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Second question. So that was the flavor of shit sandwich you like, all right? Number 2, what is true about you today that would make your 8-year-old self cry? For example, let's say when I was a kid I loved to write. And then over time, when the world influences and peers influence and your own self-awareness influences, and you start to say things like, you start to doubt yourself.
I don't know about today. I would say, like, other shit that I've done along the way would have made my 8-year-old self cry for sure.
How about this then? What's something that you used to do as a kid that you've given, that you don't do anymore?
I don't play guitar anymore. I have a badass electric guitar.
But if you told your... I
don't pick it up.
But if you told your 8-year-old self, I no longer play guitar, would that have made your 8-year-old self like, what?
I don't know. The problem is I don't think it's that important.
But your 8-year-old self might have.
Maybe.
So this version of Mike now, early 50s, telling the 8-year-old self, I don't do this anymore.
So what if it is important and I just am wrong about that?
That's my point.
What if it is? What if I think it's not important, and what if I should have been doing it?
Or still should
more. Then I don't know.
If your wife came home
I don't know that I'm right about that. That could add some kind of something. It could add some kind of energy, like, input to getting your purpose accomplished, even if that's not playing guitar isn't your purpose.
But you're a health-minded guy. You're a health-minded guy. That's a healthy, therapeutic hobby.
Is. Right, so if I'd rather watch TV
right,
than fucking pick it up, that might not be good.
Or even if 1 out of 10 times you thought TV and picked it up instead.
So fucking much practicing would have to be... That's the problem. Like, my best friend came... He came to see me. He lives in Tampa. And he's like, we both agreed, it's like a lot of effort.
Yeah, it's discipline.
You can't just pick it up and, like, all of a sudden you're going to be able to play.
It's discipline.
You, like, have to go through a month worth of your fingers fucking killing
Getting used to it again.
Yeah, like, build up calluses.
Yeah, but you could start in a place that a guy like me, I've never picked up a guitar.
Yeah, I could play immediately.
I would have to learn the whole thing. It would eventually be like riding a bike.
Yeah, eventually. The effort would have to go into
And think about this: if your wife came home tonight and you were sitting there playing the guitar, and she walked in and you went, "Oh, Debbie,"
right,
and started singing her song, she'd be like, "What? Like, what'd you do with my husband?"
Or she'd be like, "Turn that shit down." Fucking
it's hurting.
Turn it down.
Number 3 question: what makes you forget to eat and poop? Now, what I mean by that is when minutes turn to hours and hours turn to days and you go, holy crap, I forgot to eat dinner. For example, Sir Isaac Newton, allegedly in his prime, his mother had to constantly go in and go eat dinner because he would go days without eating because he would be so absorbed in his work. So what's something that you could lose yourself in where you go, damn, I was hungry 2 hours ago, I should have eaten. But I didn't because I was so absorbed in this.
That's happened. Like, I end up staying at the office until 8 o'clock.
Because you lose the time because you get so wrapped up in whatever that is.
Yeah, because look, if I'm trying to like research something or like, there's a lot of stuff that I end up staying here till 8 o'clock at night. But I wouldn't forget to eat.
But you see the idea behind the question.
I definitely get wrapped up in shit. My worser problem is getting sidetracked off of stuff.
All right, let me take it further.
To me, that's a bigger issue.
It could even be a negative thing. Like, let's take a kid that plays video games all night.
Yeah.
Okay? And loses time. Forgets to eat or whatever. I'm sure there's kids out there that do that. What's the underlying cognitive principles behind why the kid does it? Why does a kid sit obsessing playing a video game? Self-improvement, competition with other people and themselves, wanting to level up whatever game they're playing. Yeah. So if you take away the graphics and the sound and the controller, and you can apply those same principles in other areas.
Right, so winning is somewhat you can get wrapped up in. Like, I like to win.
So there's the underlying principle behind the research.
Yeah. I like... Right.
Because you want to self-improve.
I like to win at certain things. And that gets you wrapped up.
The obsession.
That gets me wrapped up and obsessed with something. I think about it all the time. And then have to, like, be like, get that out of your...
Like a visually...
Divert your attention from business or making money. And put it back to something more... useful to your soul.
See, yours,
for a little bit.
Yours sounds like that self-improvement thing. You're in this self-improvement obsession.
Yep.
And it's a competition with Mike. Mike versus Mike.
Yeah, because you've got, everybody's in a competition with Justin versus Justin.
Sure.
And Mike versus Mike.
Sure.
That's just the way God set it up.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a competition in yourself.
Sure.
Purposely is there.
But some
there
people,
on purpose.
But some people really, really take that competition to another level versus other people. The guy on the couch that has no motivation and no drive at all, no ambition.
He's losing that competition.
Yeah, he's losing it, and a lot of people just give up.
Yeah.
But a guy like you, and there probably were times in your journey where you were giving up. But now you're really like, I'm going to overcome the old me every day and be a better version of me.
Yeah.
So that's an obsession that's healthy. So like you saying that you lose hours in the office because you're researching, that is all self-improvement based. Competition versus self-based.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Here's question number 4. How can you better embarrass yourself? And what I mean by that is, whenever you try anything new...
I do everything to stay away from any kind of embarrassing yourself kind of stuff. Well, which is not good.
Well, wait a minute.
You're supposed to do shit like that.
Because I wrote, when trying anything new, you run the risk of embarrassing yourself.
Right. Exactly. No, that's true.
But if you avoid anything that could potentially embarrass you, then you'll never do anything important, maybe.
Right. Like doing a podcast or a YouTube video.
Right.
If you've never done one before.
So what's something you fantasize about doing one day, yet you don't do it? Yet you don't do it. I know for me, it's I really need to write this feature film that is way outside of any means that I think I can get. I'm scared to like write something and then nothing happen. So like I need to just write it and believe in it.
Exactly.
And then see what happens.
Yeah. No, that stuff I kind of agree with. I don't know that... Look, I mean, doing a podcast or doing like YouTube was something that we never did before.
Right.
I don't think you have. I know I hadn't.
I haven't done like an interview style.
I have no fucking idea. All I knew is Gary Vee says you want to do this shit, so I'm like, okay. He says everybody's never going to do it.
You're like,
So
then that's
fuck
me.
that, I'm gonna do it.
Because then you was competition mode for
Yeah, I'm gonna right. So if I see something that's logical and reasonable to lead you to a place or a goal, and those are two things that I saw as him being smart enough to listen to about YouTube, or like everything I have ever done is just strictly Google and nothing else.
And you've also had a lot of experience, building websites and
Right.
businesses
And
like
never
that.
anything else.
But never anything with you in front of a camera.
Right. It was all secret.
Which is a whole nother
If you're
world.
working on websites and on Google and doing SEO and shit like that, you're not out there anymore.
Yeah, you put
That's
yourself...
completely fucking in the... Right.
When you put yourself on this side of the camera,
Right.
with people watching, you open yourself up. Not everybody's going to hate you. I mean, even God failed at making everyone like him. You know what I mean?
I don't care if everybody likes...
So there's going to be people out there that are like,
So
Justin's
you
an
have to know
idiot,
that.
Mike's whatever. Like, oh well, we run that risk when you put yourself on this side. What have you learned about yourself taking that leap of faith and putting yourself in front of the camera like never before? What kind of stuff have you learned about you?
I learned that I don't like certain pictures of my...
Of you? Of you? Well, wait a minute.
I'm like, wait, we gotta move that picture. Get rid of that.
wait, hold on.
I don't like that one.
You're not alone in
Take
this.
another picture. That one's like too close up, or that one's whatever.
That's a lot of people feel that way, though. A lot of people
Yeah.
are very critical of how they look,
Yeah.
and especially in on photos and stuff. Most people's driver's license pictures aren't good.
Yeah.
Especially women have a very, at least a lot of the women I know have a higher level of self-awareness, like self-consciousness as far as looks and stuff.
And I don't usually really even give a fuck about any of that shit.
You know how I explain it to
I
people?
don't care.
You know how I explain it to people, Mike? When I'm like, you know what it's like seeing yourself in a movie or in a podcast? And people are like, what?
Or hearing.
That's
hearing
what I go.
yourself.
I go, do you remember the first time, and this is dating me, I know, but the first time you heard your voice on an answering machine?
Right.
And you were like,
That's not me.
that's what I sound like?
That's not me. Everybody does. Everybody has that.
Everybody.
Yeah.
When you're on this side of the camera,
Yeah.
be it in a film, commercial, podcast, it's like that times
Yeah.
100.
Yeah.
Because not only do we
absolutely.
hear ourselves, but we see all the stupid, like,
You hear your voice in your head a lot different.
but the normal, like the dumb gestures we do all the time, or like facial tics, or
Yeah.
like, I've noticed watching this podcast that I'm always like, ooh, like if I imitated myself, I'd be like doing stupid hand gestures all the time because I really do that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you hear yourself for the first time, and it's
a shock.
It's everybody. It's not.
It's
right.
a shock and
You
a
think it's
disgust.
just you.
And a disgust.
Right.
For a moment, you're like,
That's not what the fuck I sound like.
you sound. I think most people always go, I sound, in their head, they go, I sound worse than I had thought.
Yeah,
I sounded.
everyone does.
Yeah.
That's weird.
We judge ourselves like right away.
That's weird.
I don't go. Very few people, I'm sure, go, "Oh, cool, that's what I sound like."
Right.
They go, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's what I sound like."
That's a phenomenon that occurs to
Weird.
every human that like
That might
listens
be
to their
everybody.
fucking self for the first time.
You guys should actually comment below on the video and let us know if any of you out there have ever been like, "I love how I sound." I mean,
Yeah.
that initial moment, because you might be the only human being on earth that actually
Right.
thinks that.
No, that's true. Absolutely.
So I think that this question, how can you better embarrass yourself? You've answered that by making a podcast.
Yeah. I'm not afraid to.
Yeah, you're fearless. You've done it. So let's move on to
I
number
just don't
5.
like embarrassing myself like with stupid things. This is okay. I will embarrass myself if it's something I think is going to get me to a goal.
Right.
Yeah.
I can relate to that as an actor.
Right. But I'm not going to do it like just for the hell of it.
Just to do it.
But you probably should.
Just
do stupid shit once in a while.
just to
Yeah. Like for 5 minutes.
I was a blackout drinker for
Like for 5 minutes,
years.
you should just act like an idiot.
And that was the
in
scariest
a
thing for
room
me.
might help some kind of like.
Just release.
I didn't just come up with this. I obviously I've seen people that I trust to listen to that they know what they're talking about.
Mm.
say things like, you should fucking dance around and act like an idiot for 5 minutes.
Just to
stuff like that.
Just to shake off whatever negative stress.
Exactly. I was just watching something today.
Talking about this.
Yeah, you had all the people fucking acting like idiots for like 3 minutes,
just to
dancing
let loose.
around, and everybody was embarrassed, but then they started doing it. Right. And
do a little random dance.
Yeah.
It'll help you. All right, number 5. This is a very, I love this question for you. How are you going to save the world? Good question. Very broad question. And obviously one person can't save the world, maybe.
Okay.
But what's a passion you have for an issue, and you can make your stamp on helping that issue.
So my stamp would be, there's nobody out there that I really have found yet. There's like no voice or like anybody that is saying the kind of things that I think would help people. I mean, look, if my purpose is to make people aware of things that might help them, and I don't really see anybody that's really doing it that way, like from a regular person's like point of view, like coming from like not somebody who is a scholar or a
more relatable
teacher.
person.
Yeah, like somebody who has
experienced
life and being like everybody else, really, that I would think that, to me, there's really nobody out there. Like, specific example, if I'm seeing a video or something on YouTube, YouTube is a good way to influence the world.
Absolutely.
Let's just say, in podcasts.
Huge platform.
So, and I'll start watching the video and I'll be like, yeah, that kind of agrees with me. And then they'll be like, okay, like, talking about evolution, let's say, for specific. You're watching this video and the guy's going around, like, asking these people at a school, at college somewhere, I don't know. Maybe
he's interviewing people?
He's interviewing people, asking them about evolution, and then he's coming up with things that, to me, are very logical and reasonable questions against evolution.
Like, give me an example. Like, give me a random question example.
Like, can you give me any evidence that you've ever seen that
prove evolution?
Evolution, right.
Okay.
So if there's a professor eating lunch sitting out on the college, and he asks, well, what do you have that you're not taking on faith evolution? They can't come up with an answer, because there really aren't
faith
any.
Evolution.
Evolution, you have to have faith to believe in evolution, because you've never seen it. At least I haven't.
So that's an example of how you watch a video.
Okay. Right, so I've never seen anything that would show me that evolution is a fact.
Right.
I've never seen anything in a museum that would show me evolution is a fact. Like, here's a fucking fossil of this that turned into this.
Like, no argument.
Here's all the middle. Here's all the middle phases of
all the skeletal
cat.
middle phases.
Yeah, here's all the skeleton middle phases of a lion.
Right.
Because there aren't any.
So
there is no data.
So as you're watching,
you have to take it on faith. So then, okay, stuff like that.
So you're saying
is logical and reasoned.
But you could follow the guy until he went on that subject, and he loses you.
Right. So I'm agreeing with him. Here we go. Okay. I agree. You have to have faith to believe in evolution. Like, not like species adapt to being cold. Like, not that a cat grows more fucking fur because he's living in a cold area. Everyone knows that.
That's like genetic modification.
I'm not talking about like adapting, like animals that adapt and form like more fur or
Dependent
a
on
longer
their
beak
environment.
because you need to eat fucking worms.
But isn't that evolution? But that is evolution, right?
So I'm talking about.
And over time, animals adapt to their environment.
Evolution is a fact. Parts of it.
Right.
Evolution that tries to convince you that it's a fact that other than just the adaptations are real. Like evolution that convinces you that this is where we came from type of stuff. That's where it's all faith.
And that's where they lose you.
It's all faith. So he'll be going on and asking questions. I mean, yeah, that sounds logical and reason. That's what I think is true. And then it always comes down to your Lord Jesus Christ is going to save you from something or other. Every single fucking video comes
so all
down
these
to that.
debunking evolution videos.
So, yeah, I'll be like, yeah, that sounds logical and reasonable. That sounds logical and reasonable. And then the guy will be like, and your Lord Jesus Christ. Then I'm like, what the fuck?
And because you're Jewish.
Here was a fucking logical and reasonable video, and it always comes down to a Christian fucking thing. So there's no non-Christian, non-religious, logical and reasoned video type thoughts or people that I found, other than maybe just a few, that explain the logic and reasoned conclusions that I've come to.
So then why don't we...
It always comes back to
so then why don't we change
a Christian
that?
video or it's a religious video, and then I'm like, what the fuck? Because as soon as that comes out, people don't want to fucking hear it.
So why don't you change that, Mike?
Right, so that's what I would say would be what I want to do. Because most people, turn off their hearing the minute that comes out.
That religion is
the minute that it becomes a Christian fucking thing.
But what are you going to do? You're going to make it a Jewish thing?
No, because
their ears will be turned off that way too.
Right. I don't think religion needs to be brought into it.
So don't bring religion into it is the answer.
That's what I would.
So like why don't we do that? Why don't you be that person?
That's what I would like to be the purpose of. Here's the facts. Here's what I logically and reasonably conclude from this scientific discovery that has nothing to do with Jesus and nothing to do with either religions, any of them.
Right.
Nothing to do with any
We're talking
nonsense
facts.
kind of thing. Right.
Not faith.
Religion, it's the concepts. There's stuff, like for me, I would not even venture to like try to tell people about some of the religious type stuff that I'm into that's Jewish, because people can't really comprehend that. That's more of a thing you have to feel. But the concepts can help anybody. Like I'm totally into Kabbalah. So what is that? That's shit that's been around for 3,000 years that doesn't have to be any certain... You don't have to be Jewish to get help and get your life affected in a positive way by stuff in Kabbalah.
So it's applicable stuff.
That's applicable and practical, and there's things in there that physics thinks it just discovered that are in there 3,000 years ago.
Like what?
Tons of shit.
Give me an example.
All stuff about how the world works and how the universe works is things in there. You know that one guy that's on TV a lot, he's an Asian scientist. He's like, goes like, Neil deGrasse is one of them. And then there's the other guy, Kubachi, or I don't know his name. He's like the Asian physicist on TV.
Okay. So, recognized guy.
Yeah, absolutely. He's like the second most famous.
Okay.
I don't remember his name, but he knows all these, lots of these discoveries from physics were in the Kabbalah 3,000 years ago.
So,
Detailed ones, that's where it comes out to, I'll show you where to find that information.
okay.
I'm not a teacher.
Well, can we put the link on the bottom of the video?
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that
Check the
I
link.
don't, all I can tell you is like what helps me and what conclusions I come to. But like actually teaching you about it, that ain't gonna happen. Or teaching someone else about it, I can tell you where to find it. I can tell you what scientists that made me more aware of what's true and what's not.
Okay.
You can watch it and you can read it. I'll tell you where to get it.
Okay.
But I don't really think I'm
Well, we should add those in this video,
yeah,
right?
I'm not
So
a good
people can look at
teacher
this.
for that
But
kind
let
of
me make
stuff.
it just so I'm clear and the audience is clear. So your way of saving the world is you want to be that voice that you haven't found yet that doesn't make
Right.
these ideas about evolution and stuff a religious thing.
Right, not just evolution, like the whole universe.
So like a
and
bunch
why
of
we're
big...
here and what's the reason for being created and
So
what's
how are
the
you going to do
reason
that?
people are even here. I would do it,
This
but
is the
not bring
platform.
religion into it at all, because it doesn't have to be. Most of the stuff, look, so you're listening to atheists or big videos, huge ones, and they're right about a lot of stuff. And the storybook type stuff that you learn from the Bible and kid stories and all that ridiculous nonsense
Noah's Ark
type
and
stuff. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I don't have to believe the earth is 6,000 years old to know there's a God. To me, it's nonsense. I'm not going to just listen to all these. It's not, to me, it's not a history book. To me. That's where the religion comes in. I don't believe Noah's Ark saved 2 of every fucking animal and there was a big flood. To me, that's nonsense.
Right.
But I still believe the Torah was divinely given. That stuff is not there to be a fucking historical account of the world.
To be taken super literal in every way. And
Exactly.
a lot of it's symbolism.
It's there to be a blueprint of how to live. You want to have a good life? You want to live and be happy?
Or like what people
here's the
say,
blueprint.
Or people, you ever heard the joke? What does Bible stand for? Basic instructions before
It's
leaving
instructions.
Earth.
Yeah.
Basic instructions before leaving Earth.
Basic instructions. It's not a literal fucking kid stories that the mostly Christian videos end up saying.
So you want to be that voice.
Yeah.
So this is the platform to do that.
Yeah, that's the voice that I would like to be able to do. This is how I came to this conclusion.
Is that how the podcast came to be born?
Well,
Partially. To be that voice that you've never found in all your research, that you
Right.
couldn't relate to. So you want to be that voice you can relate to the people that think like you.
Right.
That are searching for an answer that doesn't it
Doesn't
goes
have
to
to
fact
be-
and not faith.
Right. No faith going to be involved. Well, maybe, I don't know, a little I don't know that I have any faith. I don't know that faith isn't a Jewish thing.
Faith is belief in something that you
Belief in
can't
something
see.
without evidence.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't have that.
Like you walk outside and you have faith that the wind is there because you feel it.
Right.
You can't see the wind.
Right. So all you have out there is either atheists who are nonsense to me also, or religious videos that start out looking like something logical and reasonable, but always end up to be some type of Christian or religious person putting out the fucking video.
If somebody's watching right now and they're an atheist, they just turn their ears off to you.
I was an atheist.
Now their ears might be turned
Right.
back up, but when you
So-
say something like, "I see the atheists and they're just ridiculous,"
My parents were atheists. My grandparents were atheists. I was always an atheist.
so what would you say to
So
an
at a
atheist
certain
then if
point,
they were
I
here and
would
they heard
say,
you
look,
say that?
I would say, I don't know. What I would say, what I only could say,
Your experience.
I only want to say what my experience does. Because if you're telling someone else, then you're back to the religion part. All I can tell you is what I would say about it.
But
Really,
you almost
truthfully, because to me, it's either you're discounting math. To me, if you're atheist, and I was, you're totally throwing out math.
So you're throwing out logic in a way.
You're throwing out math.
But my thing is, and this is why I brought up, when you say something like, because we didn't, if we wouldn't have explored when you said atheists are just ridiculous.
Now, some of the videos are kind of nonsense.
But you got to be careful, because if you're going to be that voice on that platform,
I was.
You don't want to turn. See, that's how you're going to get the atheists to listen to you.
I never believed in any of that stuff. No
that's
way.
how you relate to people.
Yeah.
Not by saying that they're ridiculous, but by saying, I used to think like you.
Yeah, my parents aren't ridiculous.
Then this happened to me, right.
They're atheists.
Then this happened to me, and maybe you're thinking, I'm thinking how, I used to think how you think.
Yeah, and I wasn't saved. I wasn't like, found the Lord. Anything that I've come to is logically and reasoned.
Yeah, but even how you said saved, you got to be careful, Mike, because you went saved. You're almost being vindictive about it, like all the Christians or in the Jesus Christ or they're saved. Religion. See, but you got to, in my opinion, you got to be careful to invite the ears and not segregate the ears.
Right.
In order for you to hit that
most
mission.
Most of the videos that I end up seeing, it always comes down to something like that.
And that's when you get turned off. And I think a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah.
And that's where your niche is, Mike, is making a video where somebody's doing what you're doing and going, okay, yes, I feel you. Yes, I agree with you. Yes, I agree with you. But you don't drop them off that cliff like you get dropped off of.
Right.
If I'm with you. Whoa, you lost me.
Yeah.
Keeping them with you.
Exactly.
Any suggestions on how to do that, hit us in the comments section below.
For sure. I mean, look, you got to somehow, that's the hard thing for me, is going to be keeping the religion part out of it.
It's fine, you're walking like a tightrope.
Right, because you don't have to, do everything that I do.
Right.
You don't have to, be involved in, the same exact, religious stuff that I feel.
But there's principles behind what you did.
Right, but the concept.
Right.
Truth is truth. There's no way around it.
Right. 2 + 2 is 4.
2 + 2 is 4.
Simple math.
Right.
So that's what you're saying, and that's when people lose you, is when you're like, wait, this is math. Or the atheist,
right.
How can you deny math?
Right, so if I personally want to get super involved in technical or I don't know, whatever, holier type stuff, that just, I like it. That doesn't mean you have to do that.
No, but it does something for you positive.
Yeah, only because it helps, because I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Exactly.
Let me ask you this next question. Gun to your head. If you had to leave the house all day, every day, where would you go and what would you do? Meaning, you can only go to your house to sleep, Mike. Every single day somebody woke you up.
Do I get to be anywhere?
Yeah, I mean, how would you, you could pick anywhere. But
I have to go home to go to sleep.
You only sleep there though. So every day somebody puts a gun to your head and they make you leave your house all day, every day. Where do you go and what do you do? And anybody out there, think about that question. It's not...
I go here.
Here meaning your office.
The office.
And you do your research.
I would come here.
You kind of answered that question in the last elongated answer we did. Because you go to that passion.
Yeah.
Think about that though, guys watching out there. If somebody made you leave your house every day, all day, where would you go and what would you do? And the answer is not the coffee shop to scroll through Facebook.
Then you lose.
That's not an answer, okay? Yeah. So, it is an answer, but there's a stronger answer out there.
It's absolutely an answer.
So let's go to the next one.
That you'll end up losing.
So my last question on the what is the purpose of life questionnaire. Number 7. If you knew you were going to die 1 year from today, what would you do and how would you want to be remembered?
I would do this and hope it gets bigger and faster than a year.
That's a great answer though. I mean, think about how the stakes would be raised if we knew you're going to die a year from today.
Yeah.
Think about how intense these podcasts would be.
I would think that everything has to be like put on a faster timeline.
And document everything.
Yeah.
So we get your entire idea.
Not like looking to go skydiving.
Right, that's what I kind of thought the same thing. Like people that are like, my bucket list, like I gotta like.
Oh no, that.
I gotta like.
Yeah.
A parachute, or I gotta like a hot air balloon, and I gotta see Paris and whatever.
What if I could help one person or two people, like, know the truth and get to their goal?
That's the legacy stuff.
Look, all this stuff to me is like your basic. These are the basic foundations of what I think that I need to be able to get to any goal or passion. Gotta have like this foundation first. That's for me. Like
Okay.
These are the basics. These are the foundations.
Yeah, give me that
I
toolkit.
need to be able to like be happy. Like not sit around the house and like
Waste away. So I have purpose.
To know what the meaning of life is, and to know that there is a meaning of life, and to know that there is a purpose in life. That's the basics to me. I'm sure lots of people out around don't have to need those basics.
The kids
But that's not who I'm really trying to
reach.
If you don't need, right, if you've already like got it down and have your own like totally happy, like my dad, like he has peace of mind. He doesn't like...
Just keep shining bright, Dad. Just do
He
you.
has peace of mind, and he
Yeah.
doesn't believe the stuff I do. So, he's just very wise. He's happy with his life. He's probably happy with everything he did in his life. He never made millions of dollars.
But he's satisfied.
Yeah, from what I can see.
I think that's what
who knows? But
every
from
person
what I can
wants.
see, everyone and everybody would tell you he's completely satisfied with what he accomplished. He's completely satisfied and
with his legacy.
And he has peace of mind.
But you can't buy
He
that.
comes up with this shit that I swear like comes from Kabbalah. Somewhere was passed down to him.
Really?
All the time. And he doesn't believe in it. But he has like sayings throughout your life, like the big picture. Looking at the big picture is something he taught. That's Kabbalah.
What's some other people in your life, anybody, that doesn't know the Kabbalah, but you hear stuff come out of? I've heard your wife.
I never thought. Yeah, she comes up with stuff.
I've heard your wife say some things that I'm like, damn, did you just quote like a how to be successful book or something? Like,
yeah,
what?
Right. So,
like the ultra therapist like super statement comes out, and you're like,
yeah,
damn, that's really genius.
Look, I can't think of any of who right now other than my dad, but lots of people you hear during like your life.
There's something in the Bible that says that there's people that entertain angels, and they don't know that they're entertaining angels.
Yeah, they don't. He doesn't know. Look, if you don't need the basics like I need the basics, like if you don't have, he's not like your normal person though.
What are the basics?
He's not normal. He's like, there's not gonna be like a bunch of people that have like my dad's whatever he has.
Which you probably got.
Yeah.
That
right.
unilateral
So
vision.
Right. So these type of things, like looking at the big picture and not letting, like, little Debbie doesn't have it. She does. She has the fucking opposite. That's how her parents are.
Little things bother
That's how most people are. The big picture is not the main thing they look at. So to me, that is like one of the main things.
You think that happens to people in recovery?
My sisters have it. Sarah has it.
Do you think certain people in recovery, though, fall into the trap of one day at a time, they only live in today? Right. They fall in the trap of they're so knee-deep in today that they're not even fond of tomorrow.
Right. I like to do that too, though. I don't like to live past today. But knowing what the big picture
Having
is,
a plan.
you have to have the ability to like see the big picture and what is like cause and effect. This is more Kabbalah, but that's part of it. Like if something happens and it doesn't affect the overall big picture, what the fuck are you sitting around stewing over it or worrying about it? It needs to go. It needs to be out.
Because that is wasted energy.
Right, to me, it's wasted.
So being worried, that's, I told somebody something similar the other day. This kid was telling me that he's all stressed out about this certain situation. And I texted him back and I said, listen, next week you're going to be stressed out about something completely different.
Right.
But it's kind of like we always have to find something to be worried about. Like whatever you're worried about at home right now, probably in the next 6 months,
right,
is not even going to be like if I went back in time 6 months ago, we're in December almost, so let's say July. I looked at what I was worried about in July. It's probably very different than what I'm worried about right now.
Yeah.
And how much of that worry, what did that worry really do for me?
So it comes down to what you're paying attention to. Like most people, they let their attention go to failure, not having the right girlfriend,
what they don't have,
not having the right job,
what they don't have.
Fucking exactly.
So
That's
it's perception thing. It's a perception.
Right. It's where your attention goes. You need to divert your fucking attention somewhere else. There's only one way to do it. That's the only way to get by all this stuff. To me.
No, you're onto something there.
To me, you need to put your attention off of that thing. You need to move it to something else. I try to tell Debbie this all the time.
But how do you do that?
It's not easy.
But how? What's some way?
You gotta practice.
So just practicing
Yeah,
going.
you gotta be able to do it.
Okay, I'm aware that right now I'm just worrying and stressing about this thing.
But you can't get your attention off it.
So instead of focusing and obsessing about the problem, live in the big picture of a solution.
Yep.
Of how do I never have to have this problem again?
Yep.
See, I'm learning.
What's the solution? That's the only thing I care about. I don't want to know about what the fuck is the issue of the day. That's the problem.
All right.
I only want to know about what's the solution and what am I going to do to get to the solution of whatever it is.
I have an idea. I have a lot of bad ideas. You know this, Mike.
Absolutely.
He agrees. But I'm saying this may be one.
I do too.
I think we should have, and maybe the next time we film a topic like this, because I'll be the first one to tell you, I don't know a lot about the subject. I don't know a lot about Kabbalah, I don't know a lot about Judaism, and I really don't know a lot about evolution, like in the grand scheme of things. Like I know what we learned in school.
Right. And I don't know that much about it either.
So, what we should do is,
I'm not an expert on that.
We'll watch a video though, and I want you to break down the facts to me like they were broken down for you when the guy in the video still had you, but don't drop me off the cliff like the guy dropped you off the cliff.
Yeah, I think that.
And step by step, walk me and the viewers through what you think.
Good.
I think that's
and look, I might not be an expert at this either. Maybe I just have like some ability that other people don't have to like only look at the solution and not care about what the fucking problem or the failure is.
That's a fighter's mentality that you have.
Yeah, I just don't. What if it's something that I just have?
An unteachable, God-given thing.
Yeah.
For example, here's an analogy.
But you can learn it. I've seen people learn it. So I know that it can be.
The mind is a muscle. If you flex it in certain ways, it'll grow.
I know it can be taught.
But you have a fighter's mentality, Mike, and what I mean by this is like this. If Charles Rosa, who was here recently, if he's in a fight, which is what he does for a living, and he gets punched in the face, my first thought would be, holy shit, I just got punched in the face. He can't think like that.
Yeah, probably not.
He has to think, this is what I'm going to do to you. So that's how you think in a sense. I'm not worried about the blows I'm taking, the negative I'm taking. I'm just going to I don't even focus on it. It's all about my offense, what I'm going to do.
What's your attention going to be on?
Right. So that is a fighter's mentality to me. It's the same kind of mentality. Charles Rosa goes against killers. He doesn't go into the cage and go, oh my God, that guy over there's going to kill me. Oh my. He would lose the fight before it started. He's got to have that self-belief so strong in him that he's going, I'm going to hurt that guy if they don't rip. If that ref is going to have to save his life.
Right. So that's the thing. So in general, if you say things that people take as the way that they think is the Bible or the Torah, it's not. That isn't the way I know it. I know it as this is what teaches you to like divert your attention and the exact step-by-step process to be able to do these things.
I have a challenge for you. Tomorrow, I grew up Christian. I want this Jewish guy to walk this Christian guy, Christian non-denomination, through the Torah. Well, the reason why I say, and I heard you chuckle, the reason why I say non-denomination is because I grew up in a Baptist church, okay?
Yeah.
And they did a lot of good things, but there were a lot of things that I look back in hindsight as an adult, and I go, that's not right.
Like the girl I was telling you about yesterday. What was the girl that was in the Greensboro?
Oh!
Yeah.
Yes!
So
okay, not on that level.
She was
not,
a trip.
Yeah, but not on that same level.
I know.
But there were certain shit that, like, okay, for example.
If you start thinking about these things, no matter what religion it is.
Like, there was one in particular.
The exact religion. If you think about them, you're going to be in trouble.
There were two pastors in the church I grew up in.
Right.
That, like, in my time being there, okay? The second one that came along, which ended up being a huge problem for this church, this guy, did a lot of shit. Now that I'm an adult, and I even knew as like a teenager, was money driven. Was not faith or God driven. And so that rubbed me the wrong way in my rebellious adolescence towards religion. That made me go, you're standing behind God doing evil.
Right.
Hiding behind the Bible while you do this self-seeking shit.
Nonsense.
Yeah. So that made me like...
My new favorite word is nonsense, I swear to God.
It's complete.
That's like,
this was a casserole of nonsense.
Yep.
A whole smorgasbord.
Yep.
But I want you to walk me through because A, I want to learn about it. And B, if you walk me through it with the viewers, we can really clearly see closer into what you say you can't explain, but you feel.
Yeah.
Challenge accepted?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
Let's
so
hope I can.
I want to do that tomorrow.
Purpose.
I'm talking.
Purpose, to me, can't be found. At least I can't find one unless there's a God.
Unless God's involved.
I don't see how logically or reasonable thinking you can come to a purpose in life. You could. I'm sure my dad has one. For me, and many people, there isn't going to be finding any purpose or meaning until you get the basics down. Until I get the basics down of the foundation part first.
And that's what I want to get into. I want to get into those basics.
Yeah.
I want you to treat me like a student. We'll record it in a podcast episode of you going over that foundation with a newbie. I'm a great student because I want to learn and I don't know shit about it.
Right. I don't know that much, but I do know and can absolutely say why was the world created. Macro stuff like that I know.
But
what is the exact reason why the earth and the world is here? What is the exact reason why you were put here? That kind of stuff I know. There's lots I don't.
That I want to know, though. I want to know what you know.
Right.
And I know that the audience out there, especially after getting a little sprinkling of the mind of Mike, we want to know. So, walk me through it.
Yeah.
And you know what my favorite Bible verse is? It's from Proverbs. It's
I don't know verses. And stuff.
like a dog returns to its vomit, a fool repeats his folly. So that's what I'm going to ask you guys to do out there. Be a fool. Return tomorrow to our folly. Eat the vomit.
And I would want to say that it goes doubly for somebody who's trying to get recovery.
Doubly important.
Anything I say,
Doubly important.
in my opinion, goes triple for somebody like us.
So a triples the importance of the you know what's interesting to me is in my experience of watching people in recovery, the people that had a God concept in their life before had an easier time returning to that God concept than people who had never had a God concept.
Right. Like, that's just the way that to me, that's what had always, like, not made me get it.
Was that
as soon as
block?
you mention God, then most people just turn it off because you have this concept of a guy fucking sitting in the cloud.
That's why in AA a lot of
Nonsense.
times they'll tell a newcomer, don't worry about the God thing.
Right.
Yet. Don't even concern yourself because they don't want to scare them away.
Right.
And they don't want to mind fuck you too while you're trying to get rid of these vices that have ruined your life.
It's like the Bible story that's at your doctor's office when you went to go to the pediatrician. Like when we used to go to the pediatrician.
Yeah, like what Bible?
When we were a kid, there's a book. Like at the doctor's office or at any doctor's office,
Okay.
like your Bible book with the cartoons in it.
Oh, okay, like the
That's
illustrated
where
Bible.
that's right. So that's what most people think when they think about it. Like they got like this picture of God in there and the picture of
The long beard and the
Right.
long gray hair in the cloud.
right.
And here's the animals going on Noah's
So
Ark and
that
the burning
lasts
bush.
forever in your mind of some nonsense. Like
Yeah, if you
that.
think about, if the average person thinks about the first 5 images that come to their head when they think Bible,
Yeah.
it's like an ark with 2 of every animal,
Right.
a burning bush with Moses. I would think of and I grew up learning the Bible,
Right.
but I would think Samson breaking down the temple. But yeah, it's all these kind of cartoonish, larger than life,
Right.
almost hard to believe type of
Impossible to
stories.
believe.
Right.
Really?
But like you said, there's basics. You don't
the
look at
basics.
the Bible like it's this history, you say.
Right.
It's these
Some of it is.
bigger idea. Yeah, some of it's actually
Some of
like
it's
documented,
history.
happened.
Not the nonsense.
Right.
Really. I mean, that's if I have to put it one way. Some of it is history. And look, I will say this, that like stuff like where I go to do my whatever type rituals that I am into and going to like
Where you like cut off chickens' heads
where
and
I
like
go-
milk goats and stuff.
Right. So where I go a few days a week, that is more of a Jewish type stuff that I'm into. I'm not going to say that the rabbi there doesn't. He would probably say that I'm wrong. But that doesn't. I'm sure that the rabbi where I go believes the world is 6,000 years old.
That doesn't mean you're wrong though, because he thinks.
Right, I don't get into it. I don't fucking bring it up. Because that's not what I like him about. The things that I like about him really don't have to do with like, he thinks the Bible's literal.
Every word, yeah.
I'm sure he thinks every word actually happened when it happened.
Which,
But
in his
he's
defense,
fucking
you kind of need that.
And so other in different ways.
But you kind of need that mentality that he has
Yeah.
to be a rabbi.
That's how he was born.
To be a rabbi, you better believe in every
he was
word.
raised and born totally black hat, is what we would say in Jewish.
Oh, totally like acidic, you mean? Like
Absolutely.
acidic Jews?
Absolutely. But he's awesome, but he probably believes it's literal. I know he does. But that's not why people go there.
But that works for
People
him.
go there because he has a charisma. Bottom line. And he talks about practical shit. Everything he does and says is about practical shit you can do today.
So what if I walked in there like this? Would they look at me funny?
I don't think so.
Would I be accepted there to walk in there and listen?
You absolutely would be accepted there to walk in there and listen.
So maybe I should check it out.
it's a little extreme. I'm not saying that I would like tell you to do anything extreme. Where I go is kind of extreme, but not. It's a kind of a place that's way less extreme than some places, but it's kind of.
Now, what do you mean by
extreme.
extreme? What are they doing? Circumcisions in the back?
No,
Like,
no,
what?
but it's kind of like you would have no fucking idea what's going on.
Because it's spoken in
Even if you
Hebrew
were
and shit
Jewish.
like that.
If you were Jewish, you would have no fucking idea what's
So I'm
going
gonna
on.
walk in there going, "What the hell's happening?"
Right. Nothing is like, there's not much English.
But that's how I live my life usually. I'm
Yeah.
going, "What the hell's going on?" No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. There's not much English, and like, even if you're Jewish and you walk into a really like religious type of a temple,
But before I take
you're not
that
going to
leap,
want to know what's
I
going on.
want to start with you walking me through the basics.
Absolutely.
And with us, and me and you, the viewers, we can really get a good glimpse into all this stuff that you're talking about. Because I feel like I need to know more. I need a closer glimpse into these things you're talking about to
Right.
fully appreciate them.
Absolutely. I think that's the purpose.
Ask yourself these 7 questions. Ask yourself what Mike's been asking himself. What's the purpose?
Yeah.
What am I doing? And how am I getting to where I want to go? What's the vehicle that's going to take me there?
Right. I think that your purpose or your passion doesn't have to be your money-making vehicle. It's not mine. My money-making vehicle is not my fucking passion and my purpose, even though I like winning. So kind of it is.
But it's not
Because
what
I like
gets
winning.
you. It's not what connects all the means
But
to the
no,
ends.
that's not like what the... But some people's it is.
Good for them.
So you don't have to like have... You need to learn how to fucking do something that makes money.
Get a
It
trader,
doesn't
a
have to
skill.
be your purpose or your passion. You have to have a purpose and a passion, I think. But to me, like, my purpose and passion isn't really like you hear so much. Like, if you watch motivational, like, business type videos, like, you got to find your purpose and you got to find your passion, and that's what you got. That's what you're going to do as your business, or that's what you're going to do as your.
And that's not always true.
I separate the two. Like, money is for one thing, and having your purpose is just life, I think. Because I don't really have a mixture of the two. I don't have the mixture of the two other than I'm kind of passionate about winning. But as far as what particularly, it's just that I learned how to do something. You need to learn how to do something first. That's step one. Learn how to fucking do something that makes money in 2018.
And here's another thing. Like, you were kind of tying into what you were just saying. And I've told people this before, and they're like, man, I really don't want to get this job. The job you have now, look at it like that's the job right before the job you want.
Yeah.
This is the job before the one you want.
You gotta make money, you gotta have a job to survive, but you need to learn how to fucking do something that is
A
applicable
skill, a
for
trade,
today.
a talent, something.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Mine's riding unicycles and being shot out of cannons at circuses. This is what I do.
Yeah, it can't be nonsense. It's gotta be something that is practical for 2020.
So find what's gonna make money,
Yeah.
and then also find what your passion is. If they're the same thing, great. If they're
Right.
not, great.
Yep.
And find that balance. What's your purpose in life? Leave us a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe. For Michael Stone, I'm Justin Sims. Second Act Podcast. We are out of here.